Sledgehog Gaming.
Sledgehog.
Hello guys, welcome to a brief overview of Heroes of the Storm. If you're watching this video, you probably don't know what Heroes of the Storm is. Well, it's a MOBA. Wait, you ask, what's a MOBA? MOBA is a multiplayer online battle arena. They're also known as action real-time strategy games, ARTS for short. They revolve around trying to force your way into the enemy's base and destroying some kind of heart of the base. This particular MOBA is in the Blizzard universe, so you're going to have characters from that universe clashing together on a battlefield. You're going to have Arthas, you're going to have Diablo, you're going to have people from all different Blizzard universes crashing together. StarCraft, Warcraft, World of Warcraft.
Arrived just in time to witness my gardens.
Well, you're probably wondering, how does this work? This sounds kind of cool. I mean, you're clashing together. Well, you get a character. In this tutorial, I am Arthas, as you can see here, walking around. Arthas is a warrior character, which we'll get into in a little bit. But let's talk a little bit about the characters themselves. The characters have a health and generally a mana pool. So as you can see down here, the green bar is the health, the blue bar is the mana pool, as well as your portrait. You'll also see that you have several abilities. You have the Q ability, the W ability, the E ability, your heroic ability, which doesn't unlock until level 10, and then some characters have this D ability or a passive ability. Your heroic ability is linked to R, which I didn't mention, but it is linked to R. So if you look at your keyboard, it's Q, W, E, R, and sometimes D, depending on the character. When you trigger these, you'll see that it appears here around you, and you can do stuff with it. Well, that's great. You now understand that you have a hero, and he has some abilities, and you can click buttons on your keyboard and then click on things, and they do stuff. And that's really neat. As you can see, I just did my W there. You can also see I just clicked E there. You can also mouse over it and click it, but that's really not the way to do it. You should use your keyboard combinations. You don't want to be a scrub. So again, that's Q, W, E, R, and sometimes D on the keyboard to do these. There is so you're probably wondering, well, okay, so I have a hero and I'm supposed to be clashing with other heroes. How does this all work? Well, you'll see here that you have 3 lanes usually in a map. This is one lane here, going here. This is our mini map down here where you can see various people. Blue is your team, red is against it. So you have these 3 lanes here, and they're all leading into the enemy's base, and they're protected by these things called towers, and they have a little gate here, and they have a bigger fortress, as well as a healing pool and another tower that can shoot at you. These are very dangerous. As you can see, we're gonna just kind of walk over here. If you press Z, you will mount on a mount to move a little bit faster. However, generally, if you get hit, you will be demounted and move slower again. So don't get hit. It's not a good idea while you're trying to travel somewhere. But anyway, as you can see here, these towers will protect you and prevent you from getting into their base, because your object is to get all the way to right here, which is the heart of the base. Once that's destroyed, you've won. Also, you have a heart of your base, which is right here on your map or your mini map, and you want to protect that, not let them get in here. And how you do that generally is you just kind of push into these different lanes here and kill their minions. These aren't characters. These are minions that are spawned periodically to push. Kind of think like a tug of war. If you're pulling on one end and pushing on another end. There's a whole tug of war going here where you're pushing close to their towers. The towers are destroying the minions and pushing you back, and then you're pushing back in again, and then they're destroying the minions and then pushing you back out. That's kind of how this works in each lane. And I'm just going over the basics here. So you must destroy these towers before you can ever get to their heart. There's also another team of characters. So you have your team here of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All 5 of your characters are on your team, and they're fighting these other characters here, these red characters that are on the enemy's team. These characters are also trying to push in, and so as you can see here, they're kind of fighting it back and forth, and minions are pushing, and it's all good. Eventually you'll get to hit these towers, and when you hit these towers, they will collapse, and you'll get to wail on the inner workings of their towers, and eventually into their heart. So let's talk about the 4 types of characters. There is Assassin, Warrior, Support, and Specialist. These are a classification of characters based on basically what their abilities and what they bring to the team. This is very much a team game. I can't stress that enough. Assassins typically deal a ton of damage but die really easily. Warriors, like Arthas here, as you can see that I am, he's able to take a lot of damage but generally deals less damage than Assassins. Then there's Support. Support characters would be like Tassadar here. Tassadar is a support character, and what he does is he typically heals or shields damage. They typically deal very little damage, not less damage, very little damage. So generally you want only one of these on your team, and that's just a general thing. Then there's Specialists, and Specialists use skills or abilities that don't fit into these other categories. A typical team consists of 2 assassins for a lot of damage, 1 warrior to kind of be the front guy and soak up that damage, and then 1 support to kind of heal the warrior and the assassins and just try to keep people generally alive, and then 1 specialist. And the specialist can be any one of a number of specialists, like Nazeebo here, who can go ahead and just bring a weird or unique skill set to the team, because again, he doesn't really fit into most other classes. So as you can see here, they have destroyed the 2 towers, and they're trying to push in here and to destroy these. If they happen to push all the way up this path and then get to here and destroy their main base before their heart, they will start spawning harder minions down this one lane. And again, there's 3 lanes. There's 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. Now, I can't stress enough that you will die in this game. That will happen. Don't fret about it. When you die, as I'm going to try to make myself die here, you will spawn back in a general spawn area. As you can see, I'm just letting myself die here. When I die, I'm going to go back to my base in a set number of seconds, in this case 20 seconds. It increases the longer the game goes on. But in 20 seconds I will appear back here at my base, which is right here. And then I can carry on and try to destroy the other team and try to push back into the base. And that is the general idea behind Heroes of the Storm. What sets Heroes of the Storm apart from other games is because it's so team oriented. All of your team shares XP. There's no memorization of items. The only thing you're going to do is, you see right here, choose a talent. You'll get to pick different talents to customize how your team is set up. But beyond that, There is not really anything anything that is too overly complicated. This is a really simple game. Blizzard has done a really good job with it, and it's just amazing at even though it's so simple, has so much depth to it. So I'm going to give you 5 tips. These 5 tips are essential to winning Heroes of the Storm and becoming from a noob to a medium or pro level player. These sound like common sense, but people tend to forget about them. It seems like my stream might have not my stream, my game might have lagged here. But anyway, we're just going to continue on. The first tip: stay with your team. I cannot stress this enough. If you are not staying with your team, then you're going to lose, because as another team comes up and there's 3 or 4 of them and you're by yourself, you're going to get wiped out. It's going to happen every time. You're not going to be a hero. That's the way these games work. Think about in real life. If you're walking down the street and you run into 3 guys, your chances of beating up those 3 guys versus those 3 guys beating you up is very slim. Very slim. So just keep that in mind. Tip number 2. If everyone but you has died, generally, if there is more than one person of the other team alive, it's probably best that you drop back to your base or to a different lane away from the other team to help push, or to prevent them from pushing in and kind of hug or hide next to your towers. Tip number 3, try to keep an eye on enemies. Map awareness, I cannot stress this enough. This map down here, the awareness of it is extremely, extremely, extremely important. The more that you watch where everyone is on the map and you become aware of that, the better player you're going to be. You're going to realize that they're running into your lane to come and get you. You can prevent that. Map awareness is so key. I cannot stress it enough. Number 4, don't get frustrated. Deaths are a part of this. So are mistakes. This is very much a learning game. You're going to have to learn how to play it. So don't think that you're going to come off and just be a pro. That is not going to happen. So don't get frustrated. Deaths are a part of this, and so are mistakes. I just want to emphasize that. And this kind of leads into point number 5. Don't belittle your teammates. Do not start screaming at your teammates because they're dying or because they're not in the right spot. A team does better with positive attitudes, not with negative ones. This has been proven over time and time again. If a team starts fighting amongst themselves, they generally will lose, simply because they are fighting amongst themselves. So try to cooperate and try to build up. Instead of saying, oh man, you missed that gank. By the way, a gank is when you rush in and try to grab one person standing there. Instead of saying, man, you missed that gank, you're terrible at this game, say, hey, next time I'm going to be up there, and I hope that you'll be up there with me. We almost had him. Nice try. Stuff like that. That is the stuff that you want to do. You want to be careful, because when you start fighting with your team, you will lose. This concludes our Heroes of the Storm tutorial and some tips for new beginners. I hope that you give this game a try. It is so much fun. It's a blast to play, and it's really rewarding when you start doing well. Thanks again, and happy gaming out there from Sledgehog Gaming. Bye.
Sledgehog Gaming.
Sledgehog.